To solve the system, we need to graph. Start with the first inequality, and let's think of that as an equation. Let's solve for y. Y equals negative x plus 2. Here we have a y-intercept of 2 and a slope of negative 1. So we can get some points. And notice that this is a dotted line because the original inequality is a strict inequality. So we don't want to make that solid. We'll leave it as a dotted line. And now we need to choose a test point. We need to know where to shade. You can choose any point you want as long as it's not on the line you just drew. I like to always test the origin when possible. And we're going to test that in the original. Go back to the original inequality. X plus y is less than 2. We want to know, is this true? 0 is less than true is a true statement. Since the origin is below the line and it's true, we're going to shade everything below the line. So let's make a mental note to shade below the red. Next, we'll look at the other inequality, and we'll write it as an equation, y equals negative 2x plus 4. Here we can see that the y-intercept is 4, and the slope is negative 2. So we'll get some points to plot. And this time it is a solid line because the original inequality has equal to in it. So play connected dots with a solid line. And now test. Again, we'll test 0, 0. So we have 2 times 0 plus 0. And we're asking, is that greater than or equal to 4? 0 is greater than or equal to 4 is a false statement. So we're going to shade on the opposite side. We're going to shade on the right of the blue line. And the solution is where these two shaded regions overlap. We want to be to the right of blue, but below red. So that's going to be in this region down here. Every point in that shaded region is a solution to this system. To solve this system, again, we need to graph. We'll focus first on the top inequality, and let's rewrite that as an equation and solve for y so that we can more easily graph. We have y equals 1/2 x plus 2. Y-intercept is at 2. A slope is 1/2. And we will use a dotted line since the original inequality is strictly less than. Choose a test point. We'll use 0, 0. And test in the original inequality. Zero is less than negative 8 is a false statement. So we're going to shade on the other side, which means we need to shade above the red. Notice the next inequality is a quadratic. It may be easier to graph if we first write it as an equation. Subtract x squared over, and then divide by negative 1. And we have a quadratic that has been shifted down 2 units. So we'll use that to help us plot some points. This is a solid parabola, since the original inequality has equal to in it. Solid parabola. Now test a point. We'll use the origin. And test in the original inequality. Is 0 minus 0 greater than or equal to 2? It is not. So we want to shade outside the parabola. Again, our answer is where the two shaded regions overlap. We want to be above the red line, but outside the parabola. So we have these regions shaded. Every point in those shaded regions is a solution to this system.